Am I the asshole for not chipping in for a Gucci bag or a €3,000 birthday dinner that I didn't plan? I, 29 female, and my husband, 35 male, are a part of a close group of friends. We're all in our late 20s to mid-30s. Most of us are married or in serious relationships, and we usually celebrate birthdays together. The usual setup has always been that the birthday person hosts and pays for everyone. But about a year ago, this weird new tradition started. For each birthday, someone opens a WhatsApp group and says, "Let's all chip in for this really expensive gift." We're talking about things like Hermes flip-flops, Formula 1 tickets, Gucci bags, etc. It's all very public and a bit uncomfortable to say no. My husband and I have always gone along with it, even though it's felt a bit much at times. For example, we paid around €300 towards a €1,500 Formula 1 ticket for my husband's best friend. Let's call him Tom. At the time, it felt okay, but now things are different. We are already parents to one child. We're trying for a second, and we just opened a new business which we fully funded from our own savings. Everyone in the group knows this, including Tom. We're doing fine financially, but we're definitely being more careful. These expensive group gifts are not something that we feel comfortable doing anymore. A few weeks ago, it was my husband's birthday. One of the friends asked if I was going to open a WhatsApp group for a gift. I said no. My husband didn't want anything. We hosted everyone for a pool party, paid for everything ourselves, and were happy to do it. For the record, Tom gave my husband a nice bottle of tequila worth around €100. We appreciated it. I'm not complaining at all. I've never judged or compared gifts, and I've been genuinely grateful for every single one, no matter the price. 2 weeks later, it was Tom's girlfriend's birthday. He opened a group chat and said that she would like a Gucci bag. I told my husband that I didn't want to participate in this one. He agreed, and we didn't reply in the group, but we bought her a €120 massage voucher as a gift. Her birthday was held at a really fancy and expensive beach restaurant. We went, enjoyed the event, had fun, and made sure the birthday girl had a blast. A few days later, Tom wrote in the group that the bill was €3,000 and said that if anyone would like to contribute, they could. I told my husband that I didn't want to chip in. We didn't choose the place, we gave her a gift, and again, we are being more mindful about money right now. He obviously agreed. Then Tom messaged my husband privately and said he expected us to help with the dinner bill since we didn't join the group gift. He said our €100 gift wasn't enough, brought up the fact that we'd always participated before, including for his Formula 1 ticket, and said that we were being jerks for not pitching in at all this time. I honestly don't understand it. I've never once complained about the gifts we got. I've always been thankful, but suddenly we're being labeled as the rude ones just because we made a different choice this time based on our current situation. In the comments, Helpful Inside says, "Not the asshole. Serving you with a bill after the fact, without informing you before the event that this would be expected, is not a fair, friendly move. If Tom wants to buy expensive Gucci bags for his girlfriend and plan 3K dinners, that's great, but he can't expect the same level of chipping in from everyone else. It's his girlfriend, not everyone's. If Tom was a good friend, he wouldn't have stepped on multiple boundaries and called you jerks for not paying for his ideas." Exactly. It's wild how quick some people are to throw labels like jerks when you simply set financial boundaries. OP was more than generous, and expecting anything beyond that without upfront agreement is just entitled. Not the asshole. You can tell him that you're opting out of the tradition, and since you already had a birthday and didn't ask anyone to pay, that's the proof. I think, unfortunately, with many of these entitled, greedy people, you need to spell it out. You should have opened a group chat for your husband and explained your situation and said whatever you want to bring is fine, but we're opting out of these gifts for now, and still look forward to celebrating with everyone. See you at our party. Subtle doesn't work on the clueless. Something like, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Our situation has changed, and our finances are important to us, especially now we have our business and dependents. We didn't ask for something for my husband's birthday and footed the cost. We are happy not to receive gifts, but we can't afford to shell out $500 to $1,000 for every birthday. If you all wish to continue this amongst yourselves, we obviously don't mind, but please don't pressure us. Not the asshole. Absolutely. And it's unfortunate that being subtle about it and slowly trying to wean off of it without saying so didn't come across to them. I don't understand how they didn't get that. And then on top of that, a €3,000 birthday dinner that you expect these people to contribute to and then guilt trip them because they didn't contribute earlier? What in God's name is going on? Don't have a birthday dinner at such an insanely expensive restaurant if you expect others to pay for it. And if you do, let them know beforehand. Give them some warning so they can deny your request afterwards. What is this? Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness approach. No. Don't plan beforehand. Guilt them after the fact. Hell yeah, that's how you make friends and lose enemies. Everyone respects that hustle. I don't get the thought process. These are not normal people. I refuse to believe that this is normal behavior. No, you're not the arsehole OP. What's wrong with these people? And now, on to the update. After reading the comments, my husband and I realized that we hadn't been as clear with our friend group as we should have been. So we wrote a respectful message in our group chat with everyone that says, "Hi guys, first of all, we love you all. We just wanted to say that we're no longer participating in the group gift tradition. With our growing family and the new business, we're trying to be more mindful with money. We will always celebrate you in our own way. Thank you for understanding." Most people responded kindly and said they completely understood, and then one couple reached out to us privately and told us they're currently going through IVF. They said they've been feeling very uncomfortable with the pressure of the group gift tradition, but didn't want anyone to know what they were going through. They were afraid that if they opted out, people would ask questions. They were really relieved that we spoke up. We also spoke to everyone else individually. Aside from Tom, his girlfriend, and one other couple, everyone was glad to stop the expensive gift tradition. That one other couple preferred the group gifts because they found them more convenient, but they weren't upset at all and didn't cause any drama. They just said they'll go along with whatever the group decides. Tom and his girlfriend, though, didn't take it so well. Yesterday, Tom texted my husband saying our message in the group chat felt passive-aggressive and like we were throwing shade at him. His girlfriend messaged me and said that we should have just told her privately that we don't have the money, instead of announcing it in front of everyone. Whoa, the sass, huh? She was upset that now the tradition was over. I tried to keep it light and said, "No problem. My birthday's coming up and I want a trip to Thailand for my whole family." She didn't respond. To make sure there were no hard feelings, we also sent Tom €200 to cover our share of food and drinks from his girlfriend's birthday dinner. Then today, we spoke with them again, and things got even more frustrating. They told us that our decision not to do any more group gifts, or any gift at all, for my husband's birthday came off as condescending and inconsiderate, as if we're better than them for not wanting gifts. Apparently, it made life harder for everyone. That was never our intention. We just genuinely didn't want anything and were happy to host and celebrate without gifts. As a group, we've all now agreed to go back to the old tradition. The birthday person hosts everyone. When we were younger, that usually meant breakfast, lunch, or dinner at home. Nothing over the top. It felt more personal and less stressful, and everyone seems happier going back to that. Lastly, my husband and I have decided to take a step back from Tom. This whole situation made it clear that a lot of people in the group feel like they can't say anything around him without him getting offended. We're not angry, we are just tired. We want to enjoy our friendships without walking on eggshells. Thanks again to everyone who commented on the original post. You helped us see that we weren't crazy for feeling the way we did. In the end, we think this reset was needed. For us and for the group. Info, we're a group of 5 couples. In the comments, According Pizza says, "Solid update. Honestly, all this makes me wonder about Tom and his girlfriend's financial situation. It sounds like they're living beyond their means. If they were secure financially and not pressed either way, I'm not sure why they'd take such offense to this. Unless they're just image-obsessed and materialistic and enjoyed flaunting these gifts for status, etc. Either way, you and your hubby did great, and I'm sure the larger group appreciates returning to a sense of normalcy. Hopefully Tom and his girlfriend get over themselves soon. Funny how Tom got very expensive F1 presents, but skimped on what he gave OP's husband, his supposed best friend. Obviously he just wants group gifts because he scored well out of them. Comparatively speaking, I mean. $100 on tequila is still a lot of money for booze, and OP's husband and OP don't care about it. They're just happy for a genuine thought. But on principle, Tom is an asshole. Dude, that whole situation sounds like a mess. Honestly, you guys shouldn't have given Tom the €200 after his reaction, but I get why you did. Good on you for standing your ground. Life's too short for expensive mandatory gifts and drama. Not the asshole, man. Enjoy the eggshell-free friendship space. Also, hopefully that helps the other couples feeling the pressure but not speaking up. Good on you for breaking the ice on this discussion. Totally agree. Group gifts like that always turn messy. OP just said what others were probably thinking but didn't want to say. Setting boundaries isn't rude, it's necessary. Tom and his girlfriend are reacting this way because you've handled yourself with grace. They think that you're better than them because they're aware that there's no way to socially pressure you into participating without looking bad themselves. Lives and priorities change. Your other friends understand that. Yeah, I think it was really interesting that they reacted the way they did because it made it clear that Tom just wanted to control everyone. He wanted to use the fear of social isolation and being the minority in a group of people that are going along with something as a means to control the herd. It sucks being the one that has to stand up and go against the pack and be like, no, actually, this isn't sustainable. I don't like how things are. Something needs to change. Because look at how both of them privately came after you and were like, oh, stop, rocking the boat. I don't like it when you rock the boat. It hurts me. Think about me for a second. I like the boat as it is. And I guess I'm not your friends. I don't know how your friends were feeling, but it makes sense that a lot of other people were not on board with this and were just going along with it because everyone else was going along with it. But honestly, knowing people with money or flaunting money with credit cards, it could have just as easily gone the other way, where no, genuinely everyone else is pissed off at you that you're trying to break that tradition. But even in that case, it would have been fine for you guys to bow out and that group of 4 couples just do their own thing. There was nothing wrong with how you approached this. There's nothing wrong with what you did. It's just 2 assholes showed their asses, showed that they were taking advantage of everyone else's kindness, and they're getting the consequences that their actions wrought. Who would have thought? Sucks to be them, I guess. Anyway, thank you for the story, OP. Don't give in to a situation like this again. Lesson learned. Our next post is by user I Bleed Audio, and it's titled, Would I be the asshole if I don't remind my wife it's my birthday? So I've been married for 6 years, and I love my wife dearly. However, there's been a disconnect between us. I feel like I'm more invested in our relationship than she is. I'm always the first to apologize when we argue. I'm always the one to press issues so that we can talk, and the one who typically bends so that we can find balance. Today is my birthday, and so far, it's like she has no idea. We went through the normal motions this morning, talked about our day, and she asked if we can grab takeout tonight from her favorite place, so she's clearly forgot. I'm not someone who makes a big deal about things like birthdays, but also, I guess I'd like to have it acknowledged. I'd like that reassurance that I matter to people. I mean, I feel kind of invisible in my own life sometimes, and I just want to know that people care. I guess I'd like to know if I'm a priority to her, to see if she'd even acknowledge my birthday if I don't prompt her. I mean, I took out for hers, I got her gifts that she loved, etc. I'm just curious if I would even hear the 2 words if I didn't say anything. Would I be the asshole if I continue to go through today without telling her? Here's some comments by OP. I mean, she isn't a terrible wife. Normally things are good between us, but it's just lately it feels like there's a disconnect, and I'm not really sure how to address it. She has a history with trauma, so her communication isn't great, and often just assumes that I should know that things that she's thinking or make the same connections as she does. I don't really know how to address that, I guess. On if the wife had a habit of forgetting things, no, not really. She has a history of hating her own birthday and tries to avoid it, so I kind of have to dance around that to show that I care. Maybe she downplays mine because she hates her own. I don't know. I'm not doing it to be petty or anything, just sometimes it feels like no one would really notice if I disappeared. Today just feels like that, I guess. I'm not doing it as a gotcha moment or building ammunition or anything. I'd rather it wasn't the case, but I'm just letting it play out and seeing if she realizes or if it matters to her. I don't really care about gifts. I mean, I'm an adult that kinda buys things as I need them. It's more just that she forgot. I'd like to feel like I matter enough to her to remember. I'd like her to just wish me a happy birthday, as stupid as that sounds. I'm not going to throw things away over this. That would be ridiculous. I'm just not going to deny that it hurts she's forgotten. Like, she'll keep up to date on things that she's passionate about and tell me about them all the time, but something like this just gets dropped. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go this route. I don't want to tell her and have her just be reactionary. I'll tell her tomorrow and how it made me feel and try to work on us. Others people's birthdays matter to her, but not her own. Prior to our relationship, hers was never a priority to her family, partners, etc. I try to do something each year to show her that I care and that that trend isn't continuing. My family usually tries to get together for dinner on our birthdays. Not like a party or anything, but just a you matter to us kind of thing. My wife has been invited to each one of these, and we've celebrated hers as well. In the comments, South Industry says, not the asshole. It's your birthday. You can do whatever you like about it for whatever reason. But the fact that you feel a need to test her tells me that your relationship is struggling. This is about more than the birthday. You two should probably address that in some other, calmer context than, you forgot my birthday. How about no? Why don't we grab takeout from my favorite place, since it's my birthday, and see if the penny drops? Not the arsehole. Happy birthday. If you don't have to work, I say tell her that you need to run some errands and then go out and do what you want to do for your birthday. Once your day is gone, you may also want to consider if you'd be happier with a partner that more closely matched your energy, or at least did the bare effing minimum. Update us when she remembers. Very curious to hear what gift she got you for your birthday. Reddit is doing its Reddit thing. Look, in more serious situations, I can understand being like, maybe consider a partner that closely matches your energy. Like, I get it when, your partner is neglecting you for real, or if your partner is seriously gaslighting you, or if your partner is really genuinely hurting you, but forgetting your birthday is not a divorceable sentence. Some of these teenagers in the comments need to go outside, I swear to God. I understand, in their heart of hearts, they're trying to reassure OP and go the extra mile by saying things other than just, no, it's your birthday, she's wrong for doing that. There's your affirmation. We're extending it by saying, you know what, you're not wrong, she's wrong, and, extra bonus, you don't have to be with someone like that. You deserve the best, king, here's your crown. Sometimes people forget things, that's okay. And in these situations, it's okay to remind your partner that, hey, it is my birthday. Sorry if this slipped your mind. I'm kind of upset that you forgot, but hey, we can move past this. That's an okay thing to do as well. I think you're not the asshole for this one though, OP. Sorry you're going through this. And now, onto the update. So yesterday was my birthday, and I was under the impression that my wife had forgotten. I got all up in my head questioning a lot of things in our marriage. My wife had earlier mentioned getting fast food from one of her favorite places, and it made me think that my birthday wasn't even on her radar. Well, following the advice I received, I didn't say anything to her. I went to pick her up from work and give her her keys. We're at one car between us because mine's in the shop, and everything played out as normal. However, instead of going to Crushed Red like she had mentioned, we pulled up to my favorite Mexican restaurant that we only go to on special occasions. Over the course of one massive burrito and some deep margaritas, we got to talking. She said that it was really hard not to say anything, but she wanted to surprise me. I told her how I had felt, and she was immediately apologetic. She blamed herself, and I told her that she had nothing to apologize for. She was trying to surprise me, and I could have remedied everything by just communicating. We talked about our relationship a bit and had a good night. She asked me what I'd like to do, and I just wanted a simple night, so we went home and watched a movie together that I'd been trying to get her to see, which was The Raid Redemption, to which she actually really liked. All in all, it was a good night, and a lot of my fears were misguided. I felt like I owed you guys an update after so many of you reached out yesterday. I hope you all have a good day. And here are some more comments by OP. I mean, to be fair to her, we spent most of that day working. We currently work in the same building, and she didn't have a whole lot of time to do or say much. I was stuck working and spiraling a bit for several hours. She was looking to surprise me with it after we got off work. Honestly, she really is good to me. I was in an abusive relationship for years before her, and ever since, I've been on high alert for red flags to keep from having it happen again. This leads to me sometimes seeing things in a more jaded light than they need to be. She really is great, and while communication isn't perfect sometimes, we both really try. I mean, I did my best to not let on how I was feeling. I think if I'd been more honest about it, she would have definitely responded. She wasn't being deliberately hurtful. It was an oversight and bad communication. She just wanted to surprise me, and to be fair, she did. Yeah, we both have past traumas, and it leads to us both being people pleasers. That makes communication hard sometimes, but we both really try our best at it. I know her well enough to know her tells. She was being genuine. Plus, this place is the kind of place you need to get a reservation. It gets crazy busy at night. She'd already booked us a table. This was planned. Honestly, she is doing a lot. With my car being in the shop, she's driving us both to work, even though I'm scheduled an hour before she is. She just chills for an hour to help me out. I also probably would have gotten more attention, etc., if I hadn't been dismissive. I played it off like it was fine and gave short answers to her messages. This was mainly on me and not communicating well. I mean, once it clicked on what her plan was, etc., I stopped feeling hurt. If anything, she felt so bad for making me feel that way, even if it was inadvertent. I told her not to hold on to it, and that I wasn't upset anymore now that I understood the situation. I could have said something to her at any point, but was getting in my own head and digging myself deeper. I enjoy surprises. It was the not acknowledging my birthday up until that point that hurt. I really think she didn't mean to hurt my feelings at all. It just was accidental, and I'm not going to hold it against her. Velvet Drizzly says, Bro went from she forgot my birthday to we're bonding over burritos and beating people up in the raid. Emotional roller coaster, but 10 out of 10 ending. OP replies, Yeah, honestly, I can't explain it. It's what I was feeling at the moment. Figured that I'd tell it like it happened. This is so relatable for me. I'm glad after the spiraling there was this outcome. Sounds like a great birthday evening to me. I, for one, really like the amount of times that OP commented and responded here, because it gives so much more context and life to the situation that OP is really just overthinking things, and that they were bad at communicating, and the wife was also bad at communicating. I think a lot of this tension could have been eased if she had not just committed so hard to the surprise bit of the surprise birthday that she didn't even acknowledge his birthday at all until they were going to the restaurant. Like, what is up with that? She did cause a lot of the frustration here by not just saying, Happy birthday, husband. What would you like to do today? Oh my God, it's so exciting. It's your birthday. Let's hype you up. Like, that genuinely is her fault. But it's also his fault for not speaking his mind clearly to his wife, who he should be able to trust, when his feelings were hurt, and being short and snappy with her. I understand why people react that way, but it's not healthy. It leads to situations like this. Look how much could have been avoided if you just spoke your mind and vented your frustrations. Look, I get that you shouldn't do that all the time, and how that can also piss off your partner, and how that can mentally affect them. So clearly, you got to go at your own pace, but clamming up entirely and then internalizing everything is not healthy. And everyone should get better at communicating, because all of this could have been avoided, I feel like. Anyway, I'm glad it all worked out for you, OP. I'm glad you had such a gigantic burrito. Sounds delicious. Keep up the good energy. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's great. If you didn't enjoy it, I don't care. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.